Welcome back, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy, and in this video, I am going to share what I kind of gathered when I read the book Hostage to the Devil by Malachi Martin. So stay tuned. In this video, I am going to talk about the book Hostage to the Devil by Malachi Martin. In this book, Father Malachi goes through many of the exorcism cases that he was involved with. Now, exorcism is something that a priest would perform on a possessed individual. So someone who is possessed has been kind of overtaken by some type of evil spirit or demon, sometimes it's called. So the possessed individual is only given exorcism if they've reached a point of possession where they can no longer control their words and actions, and it has now become a very dire situation. Actually, in the book, Malachi Martin even describes the process that it takes to actually be granted the right to an exorcism. You have to go through a process of tests on your mental state to make sure you're not just mentally ill or physically ill. So you go through all of these medical tests and psychological tests to ensure that you are in fact possessed. At that point, the person has reached the end of their rope and they have no other choice but to see if they can expel whatever demon is in their spirit. And then after that, you do have to write a letter as well, and then it has to be approved kind of up the ladder in the Catholic Church. And then finally, if you are granted exorcism, you have to then find a priest who is skilled in exorcism. And not only that, he has to be willing to do the exorcism. When I say the priest has to be willing to do it, what I mean is that they know the risk that they will be taking by performing the exorcism. So if the priest is not in the sound state of mind to be performing such a task, then he certainly shouldn't be doing it for you, because anytime that you're opening yourself up like that, doing something like that with the spirit realm, then you are actually opening yourself up to the possibility of becoming possessed as well, if you're not standing firm in your faith and being strong in your light. There were a couple of things that I learned in the book that I thought would be helpful little tips to pass along to anyone out there who's watching Halloween Spooktacular. In the book Hostage to the Devil, Father Malachi Martin does point out one thing just through telling all of the stories of the victims of possession that he tells in this book. Now, what I realized in reading each of the stories of the victims of possession, I kind of recognized a pattern, and that is that the ones who had become possessed were the ones who usually came to a certain point in like dark or negative thinking or extreme egotism. So when they reached a certain point in their personality where it became so almost intense, that's when this seeming possession had taken place. And also in each of these cases, it's the persistence of the devil, the persistence in the mind of the victim that causes the victim to finally surrender and allow the devil to take hold of that person. So, an important thing to remember is to always stay in your power and never surrender or allow the darkness in your thoughts and emotions to take over. Because if you allow the darkness to take over, like the negative and just bad feelings, if you allow that to take over, it does possess you. And by possess you, I mean it overtakes your life, and you're no longer able to function in the same ways that you were before, because now you have this other, I guess, another characteristic coming into your personality, which causes everything to kind of change and fall away. So, that is a very important thing that I learned by reading this book, is just to always stay in your power and to always stand firm in your faith. So in this particular book, obviously it's a Christian bend. So therefore, the person that they like to invoke during the exorcism is Jesus the Christ, because that way they can invoke the spirit of Jesus to help to expel the demon from the victim of possession. So, but really by invoking any higher beings of light, that is the best way to try, obviously, to overcome the darkness. So it doesn't really matter what faith you are, as long as you have some kind of faith that you can hang on to. If you're feeling like you're losing control and just being taken over by darkness, just hang on to what little faith that you do have to try to make it bigger and bigger, to just kind of ward off the darkness. I also learned in the book Hostage to the Devil that the devil oftentimes, while possessing an individual, and asked what its name is, the name is often Legion or some other word meaning many. It's never just like a one individual, like Satan or the devil. Whenever someone is possessed, it seems that they're possessed by many, due to the name that is always given. And they always describe it as a voice that sounds like 100 voices all in one. So that's kind of creepy as well. I don't know. I think that possession is so creepy because to me it is so realistic and it could so take place. I would love to know what you guys think. Do you believe that someone could actually become possessed? And if so, do you believe that someone can help by being an exorcist to help to expel those demons? Please let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.